Welcome to the France 24 Observers. This show is based on our network of observers, ordinary people who tell us what's going on where they are and send in photos and videos to document it. We verify it all here in Paris and bring the best to you. On October 28th, Ukrainians voted for their new members of parliament. The international community was worried that the vote might be marred by fraud, and indeed, there was plenty of rule-breaking. Our observer, who worked as an election monitor, shows us some of the violations her nonprofit organization recorded on video.
We gathered lots of proof of fraud, both by watching the official webcams and recording them, and by asking voters who filmed violations in their polling stations to send us their footage. In one of the videos, you can see a person trying to register as an electoral monitor with a fake passport, and this person doesn't even have the official certificate he needs to show. In another webcam video recorded at a polling station in the east of the country, you can see people counting votes before the station was supposed to close. We also saw a representative from the Nationalist Party standing right next to a voting booth and watching people vote. It's absolutely forbidden to stand there and look at people's ballots. There was supposed to be a sign in every polling station explaining that the surveillance cameras weren't going to film people filling out their votes. But in many places, this sign was never put up. So I think the cameras scared some people. Some cameras were even set up right above voting booths, and some booths simply didn't have any curtains. However, the biggest violations took place before the voting even began. The ruling party pressured people to vote for them. There were even cases of vote buying. But the ruling party wasn't the only party that used such techniques.
The Regions Party, which is the party of Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych, came in first, with 30% of the vote. But local authorities have promised to hold new elections in districts where violations took place. 22 million. That's the number of views for the latest video posted on the YouTube channel Funker 530. This channel is full of raw footage sent in by soldiers fighting in Afghanistan. They filmed their combat missions with cameras attached to their helmets. Kayla William, an Iraq War veteran, tells us more.
The YouTube channel shows videos that soldiers have taken while deployed to combat zones, including scenes of actual firefights that they've been in. For civilians, it provides a window into what soldiers are experiencing that they may not get otherwise, that hasn't been mediated through journalists or through editors. For other soldiers and for veterans, this type of video could potentially be a way to help process some of their own traumatic experiences, and especially if they are being assisted by mental health professionals. On the other hand, for people who haven't progressed far enough down the path of healing, I do worry that some of these videos could be triggering and bring back flashbacks or trigger negative emotions if they haven't been able to work through the memories of their own traumatic combat experiences. My husband and I were both combat veterans, and before watching even movies about war, we make sure that we're in a good place.
And now, on to the best images sent in this week by observers from around the world. We begin in Beijing, where the Communist Party's 18th Congress was held on November 8th. This was a once-in-a-decade event, so the authorities kept security very tight. So tight that they banned the sale of kitchen knives throughout the city. And to buy remote-controlled planes, people had to register with their names, just in case they were used for mischief. Taxis, meanwhile, were forced to take out their window handles so that their passengers wouldn't be able to throw out any subversive leaflets onto the streets. Now, on to Labé, the second biggest city in Guinea. Our observer, Fatoumata Binta Diallo, witnessed a protest in which students demanded that their headmaster be given her job back. They believe she was fired because of political reasons, since she's an opposition activist. The protest ended in violent clashes, and local schools were closed for several days. Last stop, Saudi Arabia. On November 1st, a truck carrying flammable liquids exploded, killing 22 people and wounding about 100 more. The flames severely damaged nearby buildings. A passerby took out his camera to film the rescue operations, only to notice that quite a few people were in fact stealing from the wreckage.
الحين وش اللي موجود فوق؟ أي شيء تبي، جوالات، فلوس.